Jumping on the declining reimbursement side, insurance reimbursement rates are shrinking as we know it. And this is not doom and gloom, but it makes it harder for clinics to stay afloat. We have to sell more widgets and the reimbursement goes down. So, and you say you're smaller, you've got 3 locations. I would not consider that a small, that's a good sized practice, but you guys still running on razor thin margins, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely. Keeping this conversation short and asking me about declining reimbursements is probably not going to go well together. This is a hot button topic for me. It all starts with insurance reimbursement. The entire business model that we have, all the good quality service we want to give our clients, all the wonderful supportive mentoring opportunities we want to give our staff, it all starts with what we receive from insurance to provide our services. So I'll do my best to keep it short, but you're getting in my kitchen with this one.
Man, so kind of to the basics. When insurance pay less, practices are forced to either cram more patients in the door or get creative to make ends meet. You have to meet payroll or the business ceases to exist. There are clinics, I hear these efforts, there's cash-based services being offered, bundling packages, so helping. There's quite a few here in Nashville, as you know, just pure cash-based practices. Some of them are adult outpatient, some of them are niched into the pelvic health space. I don't know that that's the answer because the bulk of these massive PT clinics out in this big space are all insurance reimbursements. So that's a huge value and something that we've got to just keep working on. Has declining reimbursement hit your practice? I know the answer to that. And kind of what are some changes and creative changes you guys have made to adjust for that?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with the first thing that we do is a lot of education to our admin staff and to our therapists about how insurance pays us. One of the big missing links, in my opinion, in most PT schools is a true understanding of how we get paid for what we do. So we start from the very intake with our admin team. We have a certain number of insurance companies that pay us like Medicare does, built off the 8-minute rule. We have other insurances that do not. So the first thing we want to do is understand how are we getting paid for what we do. We, like pretty much every other outpatient clinic in the country, we have to have patient overlap. We cannot see 8 patients in an 8-hour day and go home. The reimbursement is just too low. We will go out of business. So we start right off the bat with our admin team. Hey, for us at Performance Therapy, Medicare and United Healthcare both follow the 8-minute rule. So at no point in time do we want Medicare and United Healthcare to overlap each other. They have their own freestanding appointment slots. And then those that don't have direct supervision requirements, there's where we get our double bookings. So that's where we start. The second thing that we did several years ago and have used it with our training is we did a deep dive to understand what codes pay us better. If a 97110 with Blue Cross Blue Shield pays us $27 and a 97530 pays us $32, well, we want to try to incorporate as much functional activity in what we're doing with our clients. So we want to provide our staff with that education so they can make better treatment decisions in the moment. So that's been a really big thing for us. Another thing that we've tried to do is have a patient wait list. Everybody hates cancels. Inevitably, they come 30 minutes before an appointment slot, and then you're just like, well, you missed that revenue, not only on the person that cancels, but on the person that you didn't put in that slot. So we try to have a wait list, so if someone cancels, we can immediately fill the slot so we don't miss out on that revenue. And then, like so many others, we have really expanded our cash-based wellness offerings over the past few years, whether it be laser therapy, dry needling, extracorporeal shockwave therapy, recovery packages. We're trying to give clients that want additional services the opportunity to have those services.
That was going to dive into that. Have you added any cash-based services program to combat that? And it's pretty popular because we've got so many local high schools around here. A little shout out to Ravenwood High School that's in our area. They're 13-0 now, headed to the state championship for football. My son hurt his knee and I almost called you to get a laser package from you, and we may still do it. But kind of to wrap it up in a bow, I'm hearing education to your administration and your staff on what you're doing and how insurance pays you back for what you're doing. What codes pay better? That's a deep dive. I mean, figuring out what codes pay better, it takes intentionality. It takes you coming up out of treatment, putting your CEO hat on, studying your KPIs, pull these reports, pay attention to your cancellation rate, and have a backup plan like a list, and then the cash-based wellness option. That's That's awesome. Do you feel like it's starting to help a little bit?
Definitely. The revenue per visit, which is one of our most significant KPIs, is something that we've been tracking for 10 years. And absolutely, as we continue to add cash pay wellness-based services, we include that in our revenue per visit total, just so we have an idea how much each encounter. And we also keep it separate so we know at the end of the month, this is how much wellness money we made, but it also just looks at the overall benefit of every time someone is in our clinic, how much are we being paid? So that's a long way to say yes, it absolutely pays dividends.
Well, I hope today was just a quick nugget of help to practitioners out there. Josh, you did add a tremendous amount of value in that conversation. It's been a great conversation. It's clear that you and me and multiple other clinic owners are dealing with these same challenges throughout the nation. So all we have to do is get the word out like we're doing, be creative about moving forward, be intentional about moving forward. Therapy's not going anywhere. We've got the big baby boomer. Hadn't even crested yet, right? For the boomers coming out in the space. I think probably, that's supposed to crest in like another 6 or 8, 10 years, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, how can, if somebody wants to find out more information about Performance Therapy Institute here in Franklin, what's your website?
We are at performnashville.com.
Love it. Josh, real quick before we go, a couple fun rapid fire questions, okay? Off the cuff.
All right.
We're not a PT. What would you be doing right now?
Wow, not a PT. Well, let me say this. If you'd have asked me when I was in college, I would have not had any idea. But after seeing my children born, I would have loved to have been an OB. That is a miracle. Delivering babies would just be an absolute phenomenal job to share that miracle with families day in and day out. That would be really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. What's one snack you can't resist during a busy work day? If a patient brings something in.
Yeah, chocolate-covered peanuts. Everybody knows me. Everybody knows that's my vice. Every time you go in our break room, there's a bag. It's open. I'm just stopping by, popping them in.
This will be the last one, but is there a most funny or most memorable patient story you've had in the past 20 years? Is there something that keeps popping up? We've all got them.
Yes. I'll tell you the one, when you say funny, it's over. I was a very young clinician, and I'm a guy. What do I know about appearance and hair and makeup? I had a female client. I was working on her neck. We were in the room. It was just this nice, peaceful little treatment atmosphere right up until I pulled her wig off her head, and then it got real intense really quickly. So yeah, should have been a little more observant, but there's not too many weeks that go by that I don't tell that story or we don't have a chuckle about it.
You got a little high into those cervical muscles there a little bit, right at the hairline, didn't you?
Man, it was bad.
Oh my gosh.
As the Southwest commercials say, I wanted to get away.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for being here today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a fellow clinic owner or another PT who might be struggling with these same issues. Let's keep the conversation going. We'll find solutions together, I promise. We'll see you guys next time.